proposal to end the Gaza conflict. The plan calls for a 5-7-year truce, complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, and the release of all Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. A senior Hamas delegation is expected to travel to Cairo for further discussions. Hamas has shown unprecedented flexibility, even signaling a willingness to relinquish control of Gaza to a Palestinian entity, such as the Palestinian Authority. However, the proposal does not clarify the status of non-Israeli hostages held by Hamas. Despite the seriousness of the mediation efforts, Israel has not yet commented on this plan. Tensions remain high with ongoing Israeli airstrikes in Gaza that have killed 22 Palestinians since Monday. Both sides are holding firm on their demands, with the situation remaining uncertain. The proposal follows the collapse of a previous ceasefire agreement and Israel's resumed military operations. All right, Mr. Yossi Cooper-Wasser, Israeli intelligence, is joining us at this point in time. Sir, appreciate you being here and talking to us. You're a security expert, sir. Why do you think that Israel would be approaching this proposal, which has been discussed in Cairo, with a pinch of salt?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Former intelligence, in the Israeli intelligence. Yes, I think that Israel is very has many concerns about this proposal by the Egyptians and by the Qataris, because it doesn't solve the problem. It leaves Hamas with its military capabilities in Gaza and provides Hamas a long term of security for them while they are producing insecurity for Israelis. And this is not going to be accepted by Israel, I guess, because Israel wants to make sure that Hamas does not stay in power, not only from the point of view of civilian issues, but also from the point of view of security issues. And this proposal seems to ignore this issue. So I don't think this is going to be satisfactory for Israel. And there is a meeting of the Israeli Security Cabinet this evening that they are going to discuss it. But my guess is that they are going to oppose it.
Right, and so do you think that this kind of a proposal that has been put forth by Egypt is even a possibility, considering the fact that the Hamas will allow an outside entity to run and rule Gaza?
They don't. Hamas doesn't care if somebody else rules Gaza from the civilian point of view, but as long as they keep the weapons in their disposal. And there are those who are preparing again and regrouping and rearming in order to carry out another attack like the horrific one that they carried out on October 7th, 2023, then this is not a solution. This is just a way of enabling Hamas to stay in power. And that's not going to be acceptable by Israel.
All right. And so how would you describe the position in which Israel would find itself in if this proposal was to be taken seriously by the powers that be in Israel? Do you think that it's going to come with conditions? Because so far there hasn't been any reaction from Israel.
Yeah, well, as I said, the Israeli Security Cabinet is going to meet this evening, and they're going to probably oppose this and deny this proposal. And I don't think that this is going to be considered a serious proposal by anybody. And what we are going to see, in my mind, is more pressure put by Israel over the Hamas in order to release the hostages and being removed from power in Gaza. That's what's going to happen in my mind in this Security Cabinet meeting. And this is the only way that makes sense at this point. And we hope that Hamas will come back to its senses, and so will the mediators, and this would make it possible for promoting a more reasonable deal that would see the release of all the hostages, not in the return of Hamas staying in power in Gaza. Something else should happen, and Hamas should be giving up their weapons and leaving Gaza altogether for the control of some more moderate and reliable entity.
Right, and so there have been some negative references as well. Ronan Bar has also put out a few statements, that have accused the Prime Minister as well. Do you think there's this internal discord that should in fact be placated because obviously there are third parties that can take advantage?
Yes, it's a pity that domestically we are at each other's throat in Israel here. But this doesn't change much when it comes to the confrontation with the Palestinians and with the conflict with Hamas. And that, I think most Israelis agree that we cannot go back to where we were on October 7th. And there's a difference of opinion here about who is to blame for what happened on October 7th, and what happened with the intelligence, and what did the Prime Minister do before October 7th, and how he allowed Hamas to accumulate all these weapons and get prepared for carrying out this attack, and so on and so forth. A lot of issues that are in disagreements here in Israel. But that said, when it comes to fighting Hamas, we are all united, and I think that that's what you see right now. We fight against Hamas, and we are not going to let Hamas remain in power in Gaza.
So there is, there is a possibility and a probability of a ceasefire being discussed between the Russians and the Ukrainians. Do you think that's going to be enough incentive for Israel and Hamas to follow suit?
No, I think this is a positive incentive, but not enough, because nobody gives up their arms in the Russian-Ukraine ceasefire, potential ceasefire. And here what is needed is for Hamas to give up their arms, to reach a real ceasefire, and they refuse to do that. And as long as this is their position, I don't think that we are going to make a breakthrough.
All right, sir, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us and giving us those valuable insights. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue